What is going on with you, YouTube? This is Regular Dave coming at you with another video. Alright, man, this is a video I've been looking forward to making for a long time. This used to be my specialty on YouTube, man. I used to do these every year until I felt like I was doing them for my amusement. So I stopped. Primarily Madden made me stop, man. I felt like I was just, it was falling on deaf ears, my wish list, and I was just doing it just to have some content up on my channel. But Montana breathes new life. Joe Montana 16, I feel like I can actually make a wish list and really hope that this is how the game is and these are the things that are in the game. Now, this is not going to be super extensive, but just things I was thinking about on my little commute home today. So I said, let me whip me a video together, tell you what I want to see out of Joe Montana 16. All right, there's one thing over everything that I want to see. There's just one thing that trumps all, in my opinion, and that is I want the core of the game to be really good. I want the core of the game to be as close and realistic to football as possible. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you strip everything off the game, does it look like football? Does the AI behave right? Is the tackling good? Just the most basic elements of football is what I want to see in this video game. I want to see things like actual techniques being used in this game. I want this game to actually be good enough to be a tool for maybe a high school football player, offensive lineman. You could show them different techniques in this game and say, this is what this looks like. That's how fundamentally sound I want this game to be, because I want it to be a foundation for football games years to come. If this game doesn't have everything we want, at least we know if the core is solid, then all that stuff could be built on later, and they're not talking about rebuilding and we're working on it and all that. I want the core to be like the foundation of the game to be as solid as possible. All right, next on my list now, since we got the foundation solid and everything is pretty much being built on from that, I would like to see a big difference in attributes and skills from players. I think that is something that would help set this game as one of the best simulation sports games on the market, is if we see a real difference in players. Whether this game has legends or generic players or has an NFL license, I want to be able to tell the difference from the people that are supposed to be rated high compared to the people that are not. And what I mean by that is, even as far as animations go, I want to see a difference in animations from the people who have more skills and are just better than other players. Like, to give you an example, that catch that wasn't a catch according to the rule that Dez Bryant had in a playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, there ain't a lot of wide receivers that could have attempted to do what he did. Not a lot of wide receivers could have caught the ball, tried to get in the end zone all in one motion, ended up fumbling and not making it a catch. That animation, things like that, should be specific to certain tiers and levels of players. You got to be ranked a certain whatever or possess a certain attribute to even trigger that animation. That's as specific as I want to see the game, man. Certain moves, certain things should be locked for the top tier players, man. Not everybody could do that. You're not going to have Wes Welker, a player who has the skill set of Wes Welker, jump over somebody like Dez Bryant, catch the ball, fall into the end zone. It's saying that's just not what he does. That's not his skill set. I don't care what type of rating system you use. If you want to use the traditional number system, 1 to 100, 1 to 50, 1 to 1,000, I don't care. As long as it represents something. As long as it represents something that we could interpret on the field. If you want to use stars, pictures, attributes, whatever you want to use, I don't care. We just need to know that what we're seeing makes a difference on the field. Next thing on my wish list are animations, man. I want animations that rival NBA 2K15's ecosystem. Animations where you actually get lost in a game because it looks realistic, not so stiff, man. I know a lot of times with Madden, which I didn't really want to compare them in this video, but it's just so hard not to. You see things and you're like, that doesn't look real at all, man. I saw a play, they had actually posted this play as one of their top plays on whatever their Facebook is, and I was like, is that really what you want to advertise? I want animations to be fluid, whatever. I know they're using Unreal Engine 4. We don't know the potential of that engine or what it could do, but hopefully it can create some animations that are so lifelike and realistic that at a glance you might think you're watching a real football game. Sometimes, you know, with Madden, the animations can be canned. Certain animations don't branch off. I don't want to see any of that in this game, man. I want a game that gets me engrossed in it like MLB The Show, where at times you're just so involved into the game because it's so realistic. That's how real the animations I want. All the way from route running to blocking, different techniques blocking, cornerbacks using different techniques. I want the animations to look like, oh my goodness, am I watching, you know what I mean, a real game or a video game? Sometimes NBA 2K15 can do that for you with the eco motion, and they land different depending on where, you know, different defenders are, and just all kind of craziness. I need that in Joe Montana 16. All right, the next thing I want, and this one really depends on whether they have the license or not, but I do want a great editor in the game, primarily if they don't have the license. And I think this game is going to require to have an A1 generator, editor, or whatever you want to call it, where you can create players, teams, logos. And we already know, man, we already know how the simulation community is, or just the football community in general. Yo, you give us the tools, we'll do the work. Well, not we so much, because I'm not into doing that kind of stuff, man. I ain't got the patience or the skill to do that. But there's some great people in this community, man, that will create whatever people want. So as long as you provide the tools, man, there's going to be people that make full-on rosters with attributes, logos, colors. And if you let them, they will recreate an NFL team, man. And that's only if this game doesn't have the license. Which brings me into my next item on the wish list, the NFL license. Now, this is a big one, man. This is going to have a lot to do with the exact success of this game. I do feel like this game can be a success without the license, but the license would make it that much more sweeter. Look, success can happen without the license. Don't get me wrong. I think we are in a climate where people just want something different. Even if they don't dislike Madden, they want something different. So without a license, you can be successful. It's going to be that much harder to be successful without the license. It's going to require a lot more work from the team behind Montana 16. I think, you know, it's going to be an uphill battle. It could be achieved, it could be accomplished, but it definitely will be an uphill battle. The community will fight for you. The community will advertise this game without a license if it's good. No doubt about it, man. With YouTube, Twitter, and everything else jumping off, the game will get its proper advertisement. But with the license, you have to do less work, man. You're going to bring in the casuals, the people that just want to play with their favorite team, play with the players they see on Sunday. The license would just make it just really an easy victory if the game's good. Even if the game's good without the license, then some work is going to have to be put in. But if the game is solid and it is a great simulation and you have the NFL license, it's game over. I had to throw that license thing in there because, I mean, let's be honest, man, we all love the NFL. If you don't love the NFL, I don't know. If you love football and you don't really like the NFL, I haven't really met any of those fans like that just like football and it's like, I don't like the NFL. But you meet plenty of people that like the NFL, but you know deep down, they don't really care for football, man. When their favorite team ain't playing or when they're eliminated from their fantasy football season, they stop watching, which means that they really just like what goes along with football and not the actual game of football itself. All right, man, this list can go on forever, but at the end of the day, I guess it just boils down to, man, I want a great foundation, man. I know this is the opening installment, and we are going to be a lot more lenient on this game. And I know a lot of the people that are supporters of Madden are going to criticize people who don't point out the negative in this game, but yet point out the negative in Madden. But the truth of the matter is Madden's had a long time to correct the negative. This is the first one, so I'm going to be able to cut it some slack, just like I cut slack to Madden when they had the 3-year plan. If you don't remember, you can go back and watch those videos. They're still up. I cut Madden a lot of slack, so give them time, give them a chance. Yo, we passed 3 years later, and it's not quite the title that I thought it was going to be. So, yo, as long as they show that they're willing to try to give us the best simulation possible, we're going to be able to ignore the freshman problems that this game's going to have. Granted, it is impossible for this game to come out and not have maybe some major problem. It's just not going to happen. It's the first football game release. It's going to have some problems. But as long as simulation is at the heart and the core of this game is good, whatever this game is missing, We know I want this game to be like MLB The Show, where the game is so good, it's like, damn, where do you go from here? Every year you got to figure out what to add on top. That's how good I want this game to come out the gate, but we will see. This video is running long, but a wish list normally does. I'll get at you guys another time. Peace.